So, welcome. I'm here once again celebrating 30 for 30. As you know, I'm celebrating 30 years of working with youth. And even though this guy don't look like a youth with that beard and that mustache, it's one of my boys from way,
Yeah.
way back. I'm gonna have him introduce himself.
Hi. I'm Konethian. Most people call me Cole. I met Clarence quite a while ago, but
Man, how long has it
yeah,
been?
a long time.
I'm trying to
Thinking
think what
about
the
it.
year was. I think you were still in high school. I know that.
No,
And
I was
going,
actually in grammar school. I was still in grammar school. It was 2005, 2005. Man,
wow,
2005.
20 years ago. So how
Yeah.
old are you?
I'm 32 right now. But
Man,
back
so
then I
12. Wow. Okay, so let's get into it. So tell the viewers where we know each other from specifically.
specifically um so my neighborhood was called the Leclerc Courts. We had a computer center, and Clarence was always the guy that you go to when you need to use the computer. Everybody in the neighborhood, we needed access to those type of things, and we wouldn't have had them without Clarence. Clarence brought that to us. He showed us a different side, to a lot of different things.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so computer center, Leclerc Courts, that's true. 2005. That sounds unbelievable, but I guess
Yeah.
that don't man, that sounds unbelievable. And then I think you worked with me at least one summer, if not two or three, right?
Like two or three, yeah, for sure. So
Yeah,
as I grew
yeah.
older and I developed and grew into my own person, you know, I still use Clarence's guidance. He was always still there. He's an ever present, you know, guidance system, if you want to say.
Yeah, we don't see each other as much as I would like to. And now, as you see, he a grown man and he has a family of his own. Tell me about your family because you have two children, right?
Yeah, I have a girl and a boy. My daughter is 11. My son is 6.
Man, that's crazy, man. That is okay. It's hard to believe because I guess if you say you was 20 years ago, I would knew you when you was about 11 or 12 years old.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like now I got my daughter. She the same age I was when I met you,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Now when I met I always called him Simi. Is that what your family always called you too?
My
Konethian.
family, somewhat, but they both came from the same movie. I know, Coming to America. So,
Yeah, that's
but my
true. That's
family calls
true.
me Jaffe. So
Yeah.
Jaffe and Simbi, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's it. Show is. And then so I know Konethian worked with me at the computer center, like you say, 2 or 3 years through. I think after school matters a couple of times. We
Hmm.
hire people from the community to work in the computer center, and he was a standout student, always responsible, always on point. So I was glad to work with him. And then when the computer center ended up closing down, and
Hmm.
actually the neighborhood ain't even there no more. Those houses are gone. I don't know if you went by there lately, Simi.
Yeah, I've been back.
Yeah, it's just a empty lot. So it's amazing that so much life was over there at the time. But even when I moved to a new location, we was able to stay in contact. And he worked with me when I worked on West Van Buren, still at the same organization, which is Hull
Hmm.
House. Yep. And then you and Charles worked with me there. I don't remember to what capacity. Was y'all getting paid or what was up?
Yeah, we was getting paid for sure.
Okay.
Whether it was actual financial payment or whether it was some type of growth within us, for sure.
Oh, okay. That's what's
We
up.
would do it just to, just because it's working for Clarence. I mean, what else, you know?
Yeah, yeah, okay. I like the way you put that. And then I remember I had a birthday party, and every year for my birthday parties, I used to do these fundraisers, and this 1 year. And send me, Konethian will help me out with sometime, come and help with the tech part. But this year I wanted to do it in Michigan. So him and Charles, we rode to Michigan together. He got to meet my family, my mother, my sister. Um, talk about, you remember that, Simi?
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah.
And that trip, that was actually one of my first few trips, like out of the state, like basically without my family. So
Mhm.
yeah, like that experience alone, helped me open my eyes to a lot of different things.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a good time on that trip. Unfortunately, during that trip, my mother had a stroke and the birthday party was altered a bit and it
Yeah,
just kind of threw us off. We were really nervous and my mother, but she's doing well. She's doing well, still in the land of the living, thank the Lord, because sometimes strokes take people out of here, but she's
yeah.
blessed. Yeah. So 20 years, still working. So what you doing now, Sim?
So so right now, I've been working as a chef for the past. I've been cooking for 9 years. Um, and besides that, I'm going to school. I'm well soon. I should be going to pilot school,
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
pilot's license. Yeah. So yeah, that's really what I'm doing now. Still trying to evolve, become a better person.
Okay. Do you get to see a lot of the people like Charles or any of your people that you used to work with out there, LeClaire?
I actually still do.
Okay.
Me and Charles are more so related now through marriage. So
Really?
that's
How so?
yeah, because he's my wife's cousin. Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay. That
yeah.
you did tell me that your wife was from LeClaire Course. You sure did tell me that. Yeah. Okay, man, that's a small world, ain't it?
Mm.
How's Charles doing?
Charles is doing good. He was he was married. He was married at one point.
He's married too.
Got
Now, is
kids.
Charles older than you or younger than you?
Nah, Charles is younger than me by I think a year or so, like a year or
Okay.
two.
Yeah, I know y'all was my boys, and still is. Okay, so man, 20 years. So now you're doing this culinary thing. You've been cooking for 9 years, two children. I haven't met him yet, but I would love to do so. We got to set that up. Maybe have a
Yeah,
lunch.
for sure. I need to get my son around you for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to meet him, man. Really love to meet him. It's been such a long time. Do you ever get to see Miss Walton at all? She used to work at the computer center with us.
Yeah, I don't get to see Miss Walton as often as I would like. I
Yeah,
think
her
I ran
birthday
into
just
her
passed.
one time since we left there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ran into your brother one time that this been a minute ago. He was working at Mariano's.
Oh yeah. I think he
Yeah.
told me about that.
Yeah, he just walked up on me, a grown man. What's up, Clarence? I was like, man, who? Oh, but he looked exactly the same in the face.
Yeah.
And then one time I saw Brandon. Brandon was a little bit younger than you. He came up
Yeah.
to the center where I work at on the west side, and I didn't even know who he was. Even after I spoke to him, I was like, yeah, what's up? And he was like, Clarence. I was like, yeah. I had to go back to Brandon and be like, who is Brandon? He showed me a picture when he was little. I was like, man, I
Yeah.
didn't know who he was.
That little hard headed.
Exactly. When she said it, I was like, bro, she said, you know Brandon Clarence. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
I grew up real close with him because we used to share the same back. So we
Y'all
all
should
used
share
to
the
be
same
together.
what?
We used to say like so basically there used to be backs. So if you had like certain row houses, they would all share the same back. So it would be like the playground would be in the back of those houses.
Got you.
So like we would all share the same back, like in the project. We
Yeah, I
all
get
used
you.
to play together.
I get you. I get you. What side of town you live on now, bro? You live north?
Now I'm west. I'm west and south. I would say
Okay.
west is yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So cooking, two kids, still connected with Charles. Do you ever see Brandon or anybody like that? I know y'all wasn't really was well, maybe y'all
Um,
were.
I still got Brandon on. I got Brandon on Facebook.
Yeah,
I got
that's how I
I
connected
got
with
most
him.
people on Facebook for sure. Like most of the people that we were at the computer center with, for that first after school matters, some like with Kimberly and Charles, Eric,
Man.
all of them.
Man, Kimberly, I saw
You
her
know,
and her sister. What's her sister, Janae?
yeah, Janae. Yeah, she was there
Hmm.
too. She was there in that summer too.
Yeah. You said
Both of
that
them.
was the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one. That
Yeah.
was number.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a challenge and I'm gonna share with you afterwards for Leclerc. Of course, I got about 3 or 4 pictures. One of them is the After School Matters group when we used to go upstairs next door to the LAC meeting room. And I know Kim is in there, Janae is in there. Her name, they called her Red. I can't think of what her first name was. Man, I'm gonna show you the picture, but the challenge is to see if you can name all them people in the picture. Cause
I
some of
can for
them,
sure name all of them. I don't forget names. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well,
I'm
plus you
winning that
know them,
automatic.
'cause you went to school with them for many years, and
Yeah, lived with them, lived around them.
yeah, so you definitely know them for sure. It was I want to see if I can find it real quick. I don't know where it would be.
Because Kimberly Jackson was in there with us too. It
Kimberly
was two
Jackson.
Kimberly.
Sure was. One of them is a police officer now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Kimberly. Is her name Kimberly? Man, yeah, you know what? I wish my phone died, and for some odd reason, I can't get it to come back on. It is tripping. It done died for real. But I was gonna see if I could show you the picture. Let me see if I can find it on Facebook real quick. But so this is why I'm doing that. I want you to talk about a moment that you remember working at the computer center, working when we was at West Van Buren, whether we was on trips or something. Just share that with us with the group while see if I can find this picture.
Okay. Um. Yeah, man, there's so many memories. Spent so much time.
I know, right?
I would say, one of the most memorable would probably be that trip when we went to Six Flags. You guys had orchestrated a trip with the neighborhood to take everybody from the neighborhood to Six Flags. All the
Mm.
kids and stuff just had to get a little waiver to sign up, like like a little trip slip, and we all got on the bus. We all got on the bus and took a trip to Six Flags. You know, that was one
Man,
of the many you know things that we were able to enjoy. Just having a computer center, having
yeah,
that access to somebody that was actually trying to do better for the neighborhood.
I know that's right. Six
You
Flags
get a
was
lot of
expensive
people.
too. They go
You
to
get a
picture
lot of
and see if I can
people that
find
do
it
that.
by itself. Keep on going. I'm listening, Sammy.
Yeah, I was saying you don't get a lot of people that will, can, or would do that. You know.
This is the picture I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the picture I'm talking about
That's
too, man.
Kimberly Jackson. You was right. That's her name. And then
Yeah,
this girl right here went to KKC for a while. What's her
that's
name?
Kimberly Big Sister. That's Kimberly Big Sister Keyshana.
Which one's
Um,
Keisha?
the one you got the mouse on. That's Keyshana Jackson.
Show Liz. I thought her name was Kimberly. Kimberly was her little sister.
Yeah,
Yeah. This guy right here is on my Facebook. His name DeAndre.
Andre Calhoun.
Yeah.
And
And then this guy, they say he got murdered.
yeah, he ended up getting murdered just because he was a real good guy. Like he was staying out of trouble and everything. It wasn't even his fault.
Wow.
That was his name is Terrell.
Terrell. This little guy
And then
right
you got
here.
Samani. Samani is in the back next to him, between him and Keisha.
Somebody. Show Liz. Man.
And
Look up
that's
Chris.
Eric behind them. Yeah, that's Chris back there.
Eric.
Yeah, it's Eric looking over Terrell here. That's Romero in front of Terrell.
Romero.
Yeah, that's Taiwan Henderson behind Romero.
Show Liz. Show Liz. Who is this
That's
little here right here? I
Amika
can't see
behind.
it.
Let me see. Oh, that's Larry. That's Larry.
Show Liz. You is good, boy. Man.
Um, then
Larry.
there's Jamaica in front of him, and then that's Shantae
Jamaica
Duke.
Show Liz. Shantae Dukes. Yep.
That's Charles. You already know. That's Andreas behind Charles.
Show Liz.
Andreas.
He lived across the street.
Yeah, that's me. And then behind me, I'm not sure who that is behind
I can't blow it up no more. I was trying to find a real picture. And what's her name right here?
me. Her name is Oh, I need to do this 100%. Her name is
Man, she
uh,
was in my.
yeah, she was in a few of them. Her
Yeah.
name,
She went to
her name.
KKP too for a while.
Yeah, she did. I can't remember her name. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, I saw her many times, and I was like, "What's up?" She could come and visit me. I'm gonna see if I see the picture in here by itself. We could really get close. I don't see it though.
Yeah,
But
she was a nice girl though.
yeah, yeah, she was.
Her name was
She
Tierra. Tierra,
Tierra Scott.
I
Tierra
forget her
Scott.
last name. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it was, wasn't it? Tierra Scott. No.
sure was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See,
Dog,
I ain't see.
you know
Yeah,
everything. It was so many
yeah.
names. I should have wrote that down, man. Oh, I got the recording so I can double check for the recording, man. Yeah. Okay, man. 20 years ago, that time went so quick, man. I would have never guessed that I would still be doing this work. I didn't plan on doing this work from the beginning. So, and it's so good to see you all grown up, doing your thing with your kids and your family and still
Mhm.
working. So, what's one of your favorite dishes? Which would, if you was trying to impress somebody with a meal you prepare, what would it be?
It would be one of the meals I recently learned how to cook. Well, I learned how to cook something called coco vin. It's basically a wine based sauce with chicken.
Mm,
So
okay.
it's really supposed to be made with rooster, but
Mm,
yeah, it's hard to get in contact with a rooster. Rooster is
I know.
expensive. Yeah, but yeah, coco vin. I like making the recent one I just made was what's that steak pizzaiola. I like
Mm,
making. Yeah, I've been making a lot of Italian dishes lately. I don't specialize in Italian. I normally specialize in
okay.
soups,
Okay.
pastas, and different stuff like that. But yeah, recently I've been making a lot of Italian, you know, type dishes. But yeah, I really love to cook because it's not necessarily the cooking, but it's more so the learning of
Hmm.
like the whole process. And I feel
Right,
like that's
right.
what attracts me to it.
Okay. Well, I love to eat, so we got to connect in for sure.
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yes, 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 yes. Listen, another question. What is something that you would tell? I mean, when 20 years ago it was such times was different, you was different, I was different. What is something
Mhm.
that you would tell yourself if you could go back in time? Now that you know what you know, what would you tell the younger Konethian?
Uh, what would I tell myself? Man, it's so much I would tell myself.
Mm.
Invest in Bitcoin. There was
Yeah,
one time
tell me that too. When you go back in time, tell me the same thing. Invest in Bitcoin.
'cause I had the chance and I didn't take it because I didn't feel like I had the money.
Yeah,
But
but even if you would have put in 20, $40, you would have been, man, you're right.
yeah, yeah, because I was back when they was $30 and you could buy them at the gas station. Like I didn't take that opportunity to buy them at the corner store and the gas station. I'm thinking this got to be
Oh,
some type of scam. Why is it the gas
yeah,
station, corner store and stuff?
exactly. I remember it used to be a machine at this little hole in the wall restaurant. I was like, why is it a Bitcoin machine in here? But I was like, this is crazy. But I like you, I was like, I'm not about to put no money in this. This is crazy. So, but now, like you say, oh
Mhm.
well, we live and learn, right?
Yeah,
How your family, how your brothers and your sisters doing?
they all doing good. My brother, I see him every day. My um, well, his twin, because the two under me is twins. His
Yeah.
twin lives in Georgia right now. He was in the military, so he moved to Georgia. Um,
Okay.
the one under him, you seen in Mariano's. I see him every day. Um, the one under him, she moved to Champlain. Well, she just got back from Texas. She moved to Texas, but she just
That's
got
the
back.
girl. What was her name?
From
Say it again.
Kiara.
Kiara. Yeah, yeah. Man, she was a little bitty girl
Yeah,
at that
she's
time.
still a little bit.
Right.
She's still a little
Exactly. Especially to her big brother.
But yeah, I see them all. I see my siblings all the time. They are doing good. My grandmother, she in and out the hospital, but she gonna be better.
She doing good. How your moms?
My mom's doing good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they still live over there over near Oak Park.
yeah. Actually, yeah, just a little bit further down. We
Okay.
yeah, we she moved more north, I would say. So she moved further up Austin.
Okay.
But yeah, still the
Yeah,
same area.
yeah, that's what's up.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, listen, man, I'm just using this a way to connect with people I ain't seen or talked to in quite some time. So I appreciate you giving me this your dinner time. This was your day off work. Like you said, you was taking a nap. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
was out.
yeah, yeah. For real, we gotta connect though, man. We gotta instead of just saying that. So won't you hit me up with some times that you maybe Mondays? Is Mondays you always off work?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, let me look at my schedule for next Monday. Maybe we can meet up. You say you live Southwest?
yeah, Southwest.
Okay. Yeah, let's plan on getting together and doing something, man, because I want to connect with you and keep you in my prayers and the same for you for me. So I'm gonna stop the recording right now.